Welcome to Badasses. I'm your host, Kai Armstrong. Today on Badasses, imagine hearing a final, desperate transmission crackle across the airwaves, a chilling prelude to a mystery that would grip the world. Today, we explore how Amelia Earhart's courage echoes in your own life, daring you to confront the skies you're too afraid to cross and discover the lasting message you'll leave behind. Static crackles through the receiver, each pop and hiss carrying fragments of Amelia Earhart's last known words. Her voice wavers, uncertainty bleeding through the professional calm she'd maintained throughout her storied career. The date is July 2, 1937, and somewhere over the vast Pacific, one of history's most celebrated aviators is about to vanish into legend. The cockpit of her Lockheed Electra bathes in an unsettling gray light, the instruments casting eerie shadows as she and navigator Fred Noonan search desperately for their target. Howland Island, a speck of land in an endless ocean. You've felt it before, that moment when everyone says you're reaching too far, aiming too high. For Amelia, every flight was a statement against those who said women belonged on the ground. But this circumnavigation attempt wasn't just another record to break. It was her declaration that barriers exist only in our minds, that the sky belongs to anyone brave enough to claim it. Each mile she flew carried the weight of countless dreams, not just her own, but those of every person told their ambitions were impossible. Picture a young girl in Atchison, Kansas, climbing trees while other children played with dolls. The rough bark under her fingers, the wind whispering promises of adventure through leaves above. This wasn't mere childhood rebellion. This was Amelia discovering who she truly was, even as society tried to clip her wings before they could grow. The vast Kansas sky called to her, much as your own dreams call to you now, waiting for the courage to answer. The year is 1920, and Amelia steps into a plane for the first time at a California airfield. The engine roars to life, vibrations coursing through the wooden frame. It was more than love at first flight. It was recognition. Here was something that didn't care about gender or social expectations. The air would lift anyone who understood its laws and respected its power. The aviation world of the 1920s hits you with its sensory assault. The sharp smell of engine oil, the constant symphony of machinery, the testosterone-fueled atmosphere of airfields where women were seen as novelties at best, threats at worst. But Amelia didn't just enter this world, she conquered it. Yes, she can fly, the skeptics would say, but can she compete with men? She answered not with words but with actions, each flight a defiant statement against those who would ground her dreams. Rain lashes against the windows of her Lockheed Vega as she attempts what no woman has done before, a solo transatlantic flight. The year is 1932, and the ocean below stretches endless and unforgiving. Every mile is a battle against exhaustion, against mechanical uncertainties, against the very limits of human endurance. The solitude is absolute. No radio contact, no company but the steady drone of the engine and her own thoughts. This is where you find yourself when you dare to be first, when you choose to soar beyond the boundaries others have drawn for you. If you're enjoying Badasses, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, the Mental Fortitude Challenge. Explode your confidence by channeling strategies from Roosevelt, Bruce Lee, and more. Now back to the episode. After 14 hours and 56 minutes, Amelia lands in Ireland, becoming the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. The world erupts in celebration, but success brings a different kind of pressure. Every flight now carries impossible expectations. The media scrutinizes her every move, male pilots dismiss her achievements as publicity stunts, and society struggles to categorize a woman who refuses to stay in her prescribed lane. Yet she persists, founding the 99's organization for female pilots, writing books, and inspiring a generation to look skyward. Dawn breaks over Lae, New Guinea, on July 2, 1937. The Lockheed Electra sits loaded with fuel for the most challenging leg of Amelia's round-the-world attempt. The air is thick with humidity and unspoken tension. This flight will take her across 2,556 miles of open ocean to tiny Howland Island. Every calculation must be perfect. Every instrument must perform flawlessly. The margin for error is zero. The takeoff is smooth, the early hours of flight routine. But as the hours pass, doubt creeps in like gathering storm clouds. Radio communications become sporadic, fuel gauges drop faster than expected. The vast Pacific seems to swallow all certainty, leaving only questions that echo across decades. What happened in those final hours? What truths lie beneath the waves? These questions haunt us because they speak to our own fears about reaching too far, risking too much. The world held its breath, waiting for news that never came. The largest naval search in US history found nothing. No wreckage, no oil slick, no final message. But Amelia's disappearance paradoxically amplified her impact. She became more than a pilot. She became a symbol of the price and power of daring greatly. Her legacy lives on in every woman who enters a traditionally male field, in every person who challenges the boundaries of what's possible. This isn't just a story about a woman who disappeared over the Pacific. It's about the courage to pursue your dreams, even when the path forward isn't clear. She understood that the greatest obstacle isn't external resistance, but our own hesitation to begin. The fear of failure, of criticism, of the unknown, these are the headwinds that keep our dreams grounded. What would Amelia say to you now? Perhaps she'd point out that your own sky is waiting. Your own boundaries need challenging. The specific nature of your dream doesn't matter. What matters is your willingness to pursue it despite the static of doubt, despite the voices saying it can't be done. The question isn't whether you'll face resistance or uncertainty, it's whether you'll let them stop you. The true lesson of Amelia Earhart isn't about flying at all. It's about choosing to act when inaction feels safer, about pursuing excellence even when adequacy would suffice. What dream are you keeping safely on the ground? What journey have you delayed because the destination isn't guaranteed? Remember, the static that consumed Amelia's final transmission wasn't the end of her story. It was the beginning of countless others. Will yours be one of them? On the next episode of Badasses, Amelia Earhart soared through the skies, defying gravity and societal expectations. But what happens when the invisible barriers are even harder to break than the sound barrier? Imagine a world where a whole generation of women felt trapped, stifled by unspoken rules, yearning for something more. What if the biggest flight wasn't across the Atlantic, but out of the kitchen? This week, we're exploring more stories of those who defied expectations, and our next episode dives deep into the life of a woman who didn't just challenge the status quo, she ignited a revolution. Prepare to meet a figure whose words sparked a movement and whose own journey was as turbulent and transformative as any flight. You won't want to miss this one. It'll change how you see the world. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, the 7-Day Mental Fortitude Challenge. What if 7 days could make you bulletproof? Steal confidence strategies from warriors, rebels, and icons who turned panic into power. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/BA. Thanks for watching.